welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Everyday Psychic Defense, White Magic for Dark Moments by Cassandra Eason. As the title would suggest, it is about defensive magic. It's not necessarily like psychic, I mean I don't know. It feels like it's just a defensive magic book. It paired very nicely with Dorothy Morrison's Utterly Wicked. Same vibe, honestly. And so this talks about various methods of how to defend yourself magically while constantly reminding you like, hey, do the mundane too. Like if you've got issues, get law enforcement involved, you know, stuff like that. But also how to magically help yourself too. And it goes over protecting yourself, your family, your pets, your house. I think there was even your car and traveling. There is a lot packed in here. Each chapter is a different type of magic. And so like it starts off with binding and then it goes into like defensive, protection against negative earth energies, summoned evil energies, overcoming curses, protecting outside of your home, defensive bottles, bags, amulets, and symbols. Like it's got a lot in here. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 star. I absolutely loved this book. So this is by far, I think, my favorite one from her yet. And this is just one of those books that I think eventually most of us will probably need. Again, you're not going to need this all the time, and it's definitely more of like the extreme cases where your usual like little protection thingies, they need a little extra oomph behind it. This feels very advanced witch. It's not beginner hold your hand, you need to know how to do stuff. This is just a tool of what to do. And I love that. When we can find advanced books, it's so nice. And this is one of those. And again, it's not like super love and light kind of a vibe, but it had a lot of really, really, really good stuff in here. It talked about like even how to like the binding one in particular just caught my interest the most. And it was like how to bind like habits and things like that. And I'm like, and it was like to bind debt. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, yes. Just get all of the binding in the debt. Just go away because it sucks. And the section on like cursing, I'm like, yeah. And like she has a spell in here, ritual thing to do that it's like, even if you aren't cursed, it will at least deter the bad luck that seems to be going around you. And I'm like, thank you for validating how I feel. Because sometimes it's just a string of really bad luck to the point where you're like, am I cursed? Because like it starts to feel like it. Really, this book had everything. Bad neighbors, bad habits, like bad exes, bad bosses, everything is just in here. This is one of those like reference books. Do I think you're gonna need it very often? No, but it's one I plan to buy because it's like, I need this. Because again, we've got a neighbor that we would love to not have to deal with, but alas, I am not one of the YouTubers that makes like millions and millions of dollars where I can just leave. So I'm stuck in my crime-ridden town with a creepy stalker neighbor. So alas, I am stuck. So some of these spells, it's like, I like that. I'm gonna keep that in the registrar of options. And like, I know hubby would have had many times where these would have been very appropriate. Like there's just some really, really good spells in here. And again, it's not like super like fluffy and like, just send them love and light. It's like, oh my God, what's the saying? Your rubber, I'm glue, what bounces off of me sticks to you, or something like that kind of a vibe. That's kind of what it feels like. So overall, I really loved this book. Now you might be wondering, why? If I'm raving about this, is it only a 4? Personally, I found the constant use of the archangels is not my thing. I was kind of disappointed of like, either just omit them, have deity options. There was a tiny bit, because there was a little bit on like using runes. So like if you're using runes, you're probably gonna use some of the gods associated, like Thor. But like, that's about it really. There's not a lot on deity work. And so it's really just the archangels, and like archangel related to like Saturdays and Tuesdays. And I'm like, eh. And it, like there's one mention of like, oh, and like also like, I guess you could go with the Roman Mars dude. That would, I guess you could do that. I'm not a fan of the archangels. I've never been a fan Not my thing. A little bit on saints too here and there. Not my thing. So that was kind of a bummer. Honestly, I wish that had just been omitted because it's just more work as you, the witch. If you're dealing with these situations, you have to sit and reword everything, find your own associations, and you're like, cool. Sometimes it's nice just to have the cookie cutter box ready to go. But alas, you have to fix it. You have to use your egg substitute, but magically, because all of them pretty much are real. It was just, I guess it's not all of them, but it started to feel like all of them were with the archangels, and it's like, but why? So overall, I would recommend this book for advanced witches who are needing some advanced level protection. I think most advanced witches probably could stand to just have a copy of this around for when things happen. Inevitably, something's gonna happen and you're gonna need it, and it will be nice to just have it ready to go. This is not for beginner witches. You need to still work through a lot of stuff first. Intermediate is pushing it. I would say advanced, like probably at least 6+ years of being a witch, minimum, before you start on this. You need to be pretty well established in what you're doing, and your skill level needs to be where it needs to be before you start on this, because it can go badly. Because this is like knowing how to handle cactus, and if you just weren't up there as like a toddler, you're gonna get hurt. That's kind of how this felt. So just, if you're new, it's okay. You can have it for later. Just practice your other skills before then. I would love to know your thoughts on this one if you have read it in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me, get access to a bunch of stuff. I have my audiobooks, I have exclusive books. They've been fun right now. I have a lot of DNFs. And then I also have my Witching Weekly, where I have weekly witchy inspiration, weekly witchy musings, and then a card pull every single week for us. And I also have vlogs and random chit chats, monthly check-ins, all sorts of fun stuff. So if you want to check it out, patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. If you want to check out my books, they're linked down below. And until next time, thank you for watching to the very end. It means the absolute world to me. And until next time, blessed be.